I will try to sum it up and wrap this conference up a little bit. And it's a little bit hard to do it in the same time as being a moderator in this room, but I tried my best. And so my closing remarks, I won't spend that much time here because I think you get most of it from the tables and the discussions, the panels, and so on. So I think you got your pictures of the key takeaways. But I will just address some of them. And one thing that I actually thought about sitting here myself and listening to the discussions and all that is, who will be the first Dr. Evil? Who do you think?
Google.
Google?
Facebook.
Facebook? Facebook, okay, yeah. Could be. I heard an example of, I was thinking about, I'm always thinking about like Google, what are they doing with the data that we don't know? They can actually spot trends, invest in those trends, which is a huge advantage, of course. Maybe they can see trends in the market long before than we do. Maybe it will be a war. Let us invest in some stock markets, producing tanks or whatever. So we don't know that, but one thing that we know that Amazon, for example, they have a lot of information about the whole their value chain, and they're recently come up that they're using that data. I don't think it's in a really good way actually, because they actually look at how their partners actually behaving, and if they find an area, they can start a new business within that area and delete the whole competition because they have the mechanism for it. So they're actually using the data that all the suppliers are using and partners are using, they give it away, actually part of their value chain. And we'll probably see that more and more coming. And that's the backside of sharing data with others. They have a huge insight in your business. So I think we'll hear about Amazon more actually in the coming future. So other points, key takeaways. Sorry for just present it like this, but I didn't have time now during the sessions here. But information as an asset, a competitive advantage. I think it's still an immature asset, but we're growing in immaturity. We're growing in when it comes to maturity level slowly. And we talked about startups and business models. Many of these digirates, the companies that are truly data-driven, like Google and Facebook and all those companies, they build upon new business models that builds upon data. It's their key resource. And if we're going to compete with those, we need to change the whole way we're actually doing business today. Otherwise, we will be laggards. As Ingo said before, he said that, you know, the curve, if we're jumping on the curve too late, it is too late. we're behind already there. And we see a shift from tangible assets to intangible assets, 90% today. It's a huge shift. And we talked about enterprise data, like customer and product, is like key resources within the company. We must have them in control or manage them as an asset. And data is a business differentiator. And a clear power. Look at Amazon as an example. And the impact of AI, I think that, for me at least, compared with the last year, we didn't talk that much about AI, actually. Today we've been talking a lot of what AI will have an impact in our area. And I'm looking forward to see how far we've become in 1, 2, 3 years within this area. I think it will be enormous development rate, actually. And the new normal, data first. We have heard that many go to Microsoft, Google, AI first. Everyone in Silicon Valley talked about that. And algorithms becoming the new business logic. And I think that is pretty interesting. And information management is a prerequisite for AI. We need to feed it with the right data to make it valuable in the beginning, at least. And when it comes to governance, that's maybe the key, the big key takeaway from today, that GDPR is the key driver that we need to implement data governance in practice. You heard from Martin here as well now. Information governance must be a part of corporate governance. I would say that's the best practice to make it a success. If you try to put up a structure on the side of the corporate structure, it will fail because you don't have the incitament in that type of structure, and you can't work with a clear ownership then. Should be run by the business. Implementation should be part of the business line or a program, because we need the sustainability when it comes to these type of questions. Culture and maturity, really important. You know, Peter Drucker, what he said, that culture eats strategy for breakfast, and it's probably the same here, I think. Creating a culture is essential to be truly data-driven and digital. If you want it to be a part of your DNA, information-savvy company. And finally, a little bit about architecture. And I think Martin mentioned a little bit of this, and you can't see, we don't have any silver bullet. We've been talking about enterprise architecture for a long time and how to deal with complexity. Used to be the silver bullet actually for dealing with the complexity, but more and more we're going towards more pragmatic ways of managing enterprise architecture. And one way is to look at it from a federated view or more high-level view. And this is really essential to have an architecture that's supporting information governance. And we can use it as like AI can help us to go out and do the analysis of what type of metadata we're dealing with. And that could be then like a map for us to implement the correct architecture that we need by using these type of tools. Okay, so that's actually what I had to say as a wrap-up. And just to connect to the previous discussion this morning, when it comes to how to monetize information as an asset, I can recommend this book from Douglas Laney. Just came out. You can find it on Amazon. And what it does in this book is actually come up with some principles how to valuing data. A couple of principles. They've been working a long time with those principles. So I think that's a good start. And if you can look here, it's actually part of the hype curve. So, so next year maybe we'll see it up here somewhere. I don't know. Okay, thank you very much for me. And it's an interesting day.